We welcome you back to another episode of Leatherneck Insider. I'm Ben Wamsley.
And I'm Tucker Minton. We're starting off this week with our TSSR Game Time Live Athlete of the Week. Kobe Blackmon got a chance to speak with this week's winner.
Welcome you back to another segment of TSSR Game Time Live Athlete of the Week. This week I am with WIU football player Damari Davis. Damari, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. All right, starting off with last game, 4 catches, 109 yards, 1 touchdown, and number 1 in the OVC in receiving yards per game. How do you stay so consistent?
Just letting my raw talent play out, just combining the God-given talent that I have, mixing it with the technique and the fundamentals of the game, just putting it all together and being able to execute every week. That's pretty much my main goal.
Yeah, and obviously not the record you all want, but just from a wide receiver standpoint, how can you help get that first OVC win?
Just by continuing to do what I'm doing, just trying to make the most out of my opportunities, just execute every play, know my assignment before snap and after snap, and just taking care of business on and off the field. I think it all comes to help us as a team if we take care of what we need to.
And Sports Center top 10 play was at number 2. Just talk me through your mindset when Carswell threw it and when you caught it. Just talk me through it.
So it was a double move. Had a slant and a go. After I made my go, I kind of knew the ball was coming my way. We practiced it several times throughout the week. It worked a lot in practice, just kind of making sure all the ends meet during the game. I seen the ball in the air. I knew I had to make a play. Somehow the way that I caught it seemed to be the only way I was going to be able to catch it. So just kind of, like I said, trusting my God-given abilities and just executing, trying to make the most of my opportunity.
Yeah, when you caught it, did you know it was a top 10 play?
I didn't personally know. I came to the sideline and all of my teammates were like, "Yeah, man, that's top 10 right there, Sports Center top 10." But I thought they were just, being nice, being, joyful. But turns out it was top 10, and just grateful, surreal moment.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Damari, for your time. This will wrap up another segment for TSSR Game Time Live Athlete of the Week. I'm Kobe Blackmon, reporter from Leatherneck Insider.
Thanks, Kobe, and congrats to Damari Davis. And Ben, that game was a close one, but I won't spoil it all because I believe you have some highlights for us.
You're right, Tucker. I do have some highlights. Heading over to the gridiron for some football highlights from last week. After a road loss to Tennessee Tech, the top team in the Ohio Valley Conference, the 1-5 Leathernecks, would look to get their first conference win away against another Tennessee team, the 1-5 Skyhawks of UT Martin. We start off this conference game with an ESPN Sports Center top 10 play of the week as Kason Carswell looks downfield for Damari Davis, who is able to bring it in with the one-handed grab for the touchdown, tying this game at 7-all. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, Skyhawks quarterback Jace Bauer is looking to pass, but unable to find anyone. He tries to run his way out of it, only to get brought down by Jalen Nicholas to force a punt on 4th down. Heading into second quarter of play, still on defense, but now down by 3. On 3rd down, Jace Bauer still looks to pass. Under pressure, though, he gets brought down again, this time by Ethan Ladd, to force another punt and give the Leathernecks a shot for the lead. And that's exactly what the Leathernecks are going to be trying to do, with Kason Carswell going to fake the handoff and instead finding Alex Williams wide open in the center of the field, who brings it in for a Leatherneck touchdown and the lead. Coming out of halftime now with the lead, we join the Leathernecks on the defensive side of the ball. Wide receiver in motion, Jace Bauer attempts the handoff, but ends up fumbling it, and the Leathernecks fall on top of it for the turnover. The Leathernecks would go on to extend their lead with a field goal following the fumble recovery. We come into this next play, 2nd down and still a long way to go. Kason Carswell in the shotgun position, looks downfield for Tristan Duncan on the sideline, who brings it in to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and finally brought out of bounds at around the 1-yard line. The Leathernecks would go on to score on the play immediately after. Entering the 4th quarter with the lead, the Leathernecks need to perform well on defense. Jace Bauer getting good blocks by his offensive line, but ends up getting brought down for the sack, and the Skyhawks would be forced to punt later that drive. Unfortunately, the Leathernecks would be unable to maintain their lead. Down by 1, the Leathernecks need to get into comfortable field goal position. Kason Carswell again finds Tristan Duncan on the sideline, who steps out around the 33-yard line to set up for a game-winning field goal. However, the field goal ends up getting tipped by the Skyhawks, sealing their victory after the knee. The Skyhawks advance to 2-5 on the season, getting their second conference win and second victory at home. Meanwhile, the Leathernecks fall to 1-6 on the season, 0-3 in conference. The Leathernecks are still trying to find their first conference win and get that opportunity back at home today against Charleston Southern at 3 p.m. You can find coverage of the game on ESPN+.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're just getting started. More Leatherneck Insider after the break.
Not W?
It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. It's saying W because I know it's something you're going to say there. Yeah, we've been there.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on?
They haven't said it. I said we're ready to go. We can start. Hello, everyone. I am Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Welcome back to Sully Hall. Matt Rosado was named head coach of the track and field and cross-country programs. Kobe Blackmon got the chance to speak with Coach Rosado on this accomplishment.
Western Illinois University has officially named a new leader for its track and field and cross-country programs. Director of Athletics Paul Bubb announced the hiring of Matt Rosado as new head coach, a move that comes after Rosado's impactful stint as an assistant and interim head coach. I got your chance to get his initial reaction.
No, I mean, it's a little bit of both. Obviously, you know, when you get that call and you have that conversation, I think it's something that everybody wants to sit in. I mean, being the head coach is a big responsibility at almost any university at any level. So being able to take that on and hear those words like, hey, Matt, like, you know, we want you to be our head coach and we believe in you and all these things. I mean, it's always a good feeling. Everybody wants to feel like they're backed and supported. So having that conversation was awesome. But on the other side of things, it's like since I was already in that interim role and I'd already been here, it's just another day in the office, okay? Like, okay, now I get to make decisions. I get to finalize some of these things, and we get to move forward as a program. So some excitement and then some day-to-day stuff.
Rosado also talks about the change from assistant coach to head coach.
Yeah, so I mean, coming from the interim role, or I guess stepping into the interim role from the assistant role, I mean, it's obviously taking on a little bit more responsibilities for the whole program and not just the groups that I was coaching. So not a huge change since I had a hand in a few different groups here. But obviously the paperwork side of things, the side of coaching that nobody really enjoys too much, taking those things, straightening those things out and making sure those things are in order for the upcoming season. And then obviously stepping into the full-time role, still continuing what I was doing as an intern, but making sure and solidifying that some of those things that were planned out, that it didn't necessarily finalize, are not finalized, and we can move forward with the academic year.
Rosado also highlights his expectations and main goals for the team.
Yeah, so the goal, I mean, for us, we talked about this in multiple team meetings. We want to win a conference championship or compete for a conference championship year in and year out. For our men's side of the things, we're limited on the numbers, but we should still be a top half team every year. So a fifth place finish to a fourth place finish is the expectation on that end. But on the women's side, we have plenty of resources and plenty of talent and the coaching staff to compete for a conference championship. So we want to be at the top of the OVC.
I'm Kobe Blackmon, reporter from Leatherneck Insider.
Thanks, Kobe, and congrats to Coach Rosado.
As we stay on the topic of accomplishments, outside hitter Kayana Cruz recently accomplished a milestone only a handful of Leathernecks have done. Caden Trends with the story.
Outside hitter Kiana Cruz became the fourth Leatherneck in history to accomplish 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs in her career.
Very exciting, I guess.
not that I was expecting it at all, but I do try to work really hard both on the front row and the back row. So it's nice being able to match those statistics with each other. So that was cool.
On top of Cruz's milestone, she's also coming home with an OVC Offensive Player of the Week honor, her first of the season.
It was really nice to get the honor. It's later than last year's, but I think that a huge reason of that is because we have so much talent on the team and so many hitters that we give the ball to. And on top of that, with UT Martin, our first game, we did really well. Second one, we did end up losing. It was disappointing, but I'm pretty optimistic on where we're going to go for the rest of the season, just because I feel like there's a lot more work to be done.
Caden Strens, Leatherneck Insider.
Thanks, Caden. Leathernecks have this weekend off, so let's take a look at where things stand so far. The team currently sits in 9th place with a conference record of 2-5. The next 5 matches will be pivotal to if they're able to make the conference tournament, as they'll travel to Eastern Illinois Tuesday, followed by playing host to Tennessee State. And then they're back on the road, taking on Lindenwood at the end of the month.
Heading over to the football field, Leatherneck Insider reporter Glenn Novak spoke to the WIU football team kicker Antonio Chada about his recent success and being on the watch list for the Fred Mitchell Award.
I got the opportunity to speak to Antonio Chada, the OVC field goal percentage leader, and how his kicking has changed this season.
I don't really think anything has changed much per se. I always approach every game, every practice with the same mindset, trying to do the best that I can. I always have the same routine when I'm warming up for practice as I do the game. So I wouldn't really say anything has changed that much. I'm just, every year I try and in the off season I work on certain things. I came into this season wanting to try and get better height on my balls, my field goals specifically, and I also changed up my kickoff form as well. So I'm kicking a lot of touchbacks right now on the kickoffs, so I want to try and keep that up. And for the field goals, I have great protection and great snapper and great holder. So yeah.
I asked him about his backup long snapper Daniel Trevalier and holder Rocco Ferdigo and how they have helped Chada's kicking.
So actually Ben got hurt the first game in the year against Illinois. So he's actually been out since like halfway through that game. So we have a true freshman, Daniel Chevalier. Like I just said, he's a true freshman, so there's a lot of pressure on him to come in and perform since Ben's obviously a pretty good snapper. And, we call him Chevy, but Chevy's done a great job this year. And Rocco's just a fantastic holder. Obviously, not every snap's going to be perfect. Same with any kick or hold. But we all have our roles. So Chevy does a great job getting the ball back to Rocco. Rocco does a great job of holding the ball for me. I try to do my best to kick the ball, and obviously the line protecting me can't be forgotten either, because without them, I really can't even get a good operation. So everyone's been doing a good job so far to answer the question.
I'm Glenn Novak. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Glenn, and congrats to Antonio Chada. The WIU football team plays today at 3 p.m. against the Charleston Southern Buccaneers.
Don't go anywhere. We take a look at Macomb High football and WIU bowling after the break.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. The Macomb High Bombers have clinched a playoff berth after a 6-1 start to the season, with their only loss coming against Farmington, who is ranked third in the state. Now, with only 1 week left in the regular season, things are starting to ramp up for the Bombers. Leatherneck Insider reporter Luke Little caught up with Coach Tanner Horrell about the season.
After a 42-19 win over Knoxville, the Macomb High Bombers have clinched a spot in the IHSA Class 4A playoffs. With 1 week left to go, I asked Coach Horrell what he wants his team to focus on the most in preparation for the postseason with one final game left.
Yeah, I think it's getting better every day. Just kind of working on the fundamentals. Obviously, we still see things on film that we feel like we need to improve, especially going into week 10, but we want to go 1-0 this week. That's still the goal. But just the little things, footwork and making sure our timing's there on routes, ball security, those things on offense. Defense is tackling and getting off blocks.
Horrell also shared what junior Drake May and senior Drew Watson have meant to this team this season and their leadership throughout the year so far.
They played a lot of football. They've seen a lot of things. They've had successful seasons. They've been there when we missed the playoffs. So they kind of rely on those experiences. They both have great instincts, whether it's getting to the football or finding holes or running routes. They have really good football instincts. And then when the moment's the biggest, they come up big. And that's something that they've done really well for the last 3 or 4 years.
Lastly, the Bombers have finished the year with an undefeated 5-0 away record, the third time Coach Horrell and his Bombers have done this since his first season in 2021. Here's what Horrell had to say about this team's road dominance this season.
I think you just focus on yourself and worry about the guys that are in that locker room and play for each other. And again, it's playing on Friday nights. I think it might be a different atmosphere, but it's still 7 o'clock. It's a football game, and it's all about executing, and our guys have done a really good job on the road the last couple of years.
Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Luke Little.
Thank you, Luke. The Bombers, although not ranked, have received votes for Class 4A football, but have not faced against a Class 4A opponent yet this season. The Bombers will cap off the year at home next week against the LVC Miners for their senior night.
The WIU women's bowling team has welcomed new head coach Derek Sapp. Leatherneck Insider reporter Patrick Cummings had the opportunity to speak with Coach Sapp on what he brings to the team.
Hello everyone, I'm Patrick Cummings, reporting from Leatherneck Insider. I'm here with new bowling head coach Derek Sapp. Derek, you went to Western Illinois. How does it feel to be coaching here as a alumni?
It's the word I like to use is personal. I loved being here when I was a player. My experiences here have helped me mold this team already, and everything here looks the same as it did 20 plus years ago. So it's just really special to be back here, and hopefully very soon that we can have a program that's not only nationally ranked, but that people, always regarded bowling here very highly, and I hope very soon that they are doing the same thing with this program.
Okay. Coach, you got a long resume. You've won 7 regional titles, 4 gold medals, and you were part of Team USA. What lessons and experiences have you been able to obtain, and how are you going to use those to benefit the team moving forward?
Individually, I've been a bowler, still am a bowler. So I can relate to all of my players, knowing what they're going through, what they're thinking, whether they're bowling well or not. So I feel like I know what to say to them, how to get them back on track, or just anything to pick them up or help them out. Team-wise, I've won a lot as a member of really good teams, so I know what you have to do to be on a good team, what you have to do to help your teammates out, and all the experiences I had here, winning 2 national titles and on Team USA as well, being around, great players on great teams. I can relate that to them and show them how to be a real team.
All right. And my final question for you, Coach, what competition on the schedule are you excited to play this season?
All of them.
Okay.
I really want, this is being our first year, more than anything else, I want to see where we're at as far as at the NCAA level. I got a little bit of an idea last weekend. This weekend will tell us a little more because there'll be some higher ranked teams there. But I just want to see where we stack up across NCAA and specifically Division I. And I feel like we're a little closer to the top than I thought we were going to be originally. We still have a long ways to go. But just seeing where we're at and getting our name out there and turning some heads this year, and hopefully we can pull off a few upsets in there and start to make a name for ourselves right now.
All right. Thank you, Coach, for doing this interview. This is Patrick Cummings, reporting from Leatherneck Insider.
Thanks, Patrick. Leatherneck will be in Valparaiso on Friday, October 31st for the Windy City Halloween Classic.
The WIU Bowling Club is coming off of their first GLBC tournament in Minnesota. The team had 3 individual high scores, starting with Garrett Clayton scoring 191, Jack Howe scoring 184, and Andrew Hellier scoring 181. I got a chance to speak with head coach Pete Albanese about the team's performance.
It was a pretty good turnout for the weekend for us. We finished 17th out of 21 teams, I believe. And I was really pleased with the way everybody bowled, much less those 3 that you mentioned that had pretty high scores. They could improve, and they're going to improve as we go to more tournaments. They have to learn how to bowl at the tournaments, and I expect it just to keep getting better. I was also pleased with the way the new people bowled. A lot of nerves, everybody's very nervous when they go their first time. Heck, most people are even nervous when they've been there many times. So I expect them to just keep getting better. We keep working on it in practice, and you can't tell until you actually go to the live thing, and that's when you really know what's going on. But I'm pretty happy with the whole situation.
The Leathernecks also scored a high of 223 points in Set 3 in the Baker Games. The team is starting off strong as they get ready for their second GLBC tournament at Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, on the weekend of October 24th through October 26th. Best of luck to the bowling club.
No history lesson from Kobe this week, but LI reporter Glenn Novak gives you the scoop of national news. More Leatherneck Insider after the break.
Here, I engineer the future.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Welcome back to Sully Hall. I know you were all looking forward to see the great Kobe's Corner, but we have something even better for you guys. Take it away, Glenn.
Thanks, Tucker. You heard that right. No Kobe's Corner, but this is Glenn Novak bringing this week's national news. The Chicago Bears played in our nation's capital in D.C. on a rainy Monday night against the Washington Commanders. In the final 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the Commanders had the ball leading 24-22, but quarterback Jaden Daniels fumbles the ball and is recovered by Bears cornerback Nashawn Wright. On that ensuing drive, quarterback Caleb Williams and running back DeAndre Swift would lead the Bears offense down the field. And it would come down to replacement kicker Jake Moody after their starting kicker was out for the game in the closing seconds, and Moody drills the game-winning field goal. Bears win 25-24. This marks just the second time the Bears have won off the bye week in the past 12 years. Next up on the schedule, they play the New Orleans Saints back in Soldier Field Sunday at noon. We also had 2 head coaches get fired in the NFL and college football, starting off with Penn State firing head coach James Franklin after having 2 huge upset losses against Northwestern and UCLA. Last season, Penn State was just 1 game away from making it to the national championship, but now sitting 3-3 on the season. Penn State plays today against the Iowa Hawkeyes today at 6 p.m. In the NFL, the Tennessee Titans fired their head coach Brian Callahan halfway through his second season, finishing with a total record of 4-19. He is now the 4th straight head coach to be fired in their quarterback's rookie year as the number 1 overall pick. Quarterback Cam Moore and the Tennessee Titans play the New England Patriots Sunday at noon. But that'll end it for this week's national news. Have a great weekend, Macomb, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Glenn. And I did get the chance to watch that Bears game, and gotta say, as a personal Bears fan myself, it's good to have a revenge game after what happened last season.
Yeah, for sure, and also the fact that it was the same score as the Raiders, 25-24. But on the head coach's side, tough break for the Penn State Nittany Lions, having 2 upset wins, and now James Franklin got fired. So hopefully they can turn their season around.
Yeah, especially after coming just short of making it to the national championship. Well, that's all we have for today's edition of Leatherneck Insider. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Follow us on socials at InsiderWIU. For our entire crew, I'm Ben Wamsley.
And I'm Tucker Minton. Have a great weekend, Macomb.